All right, we're back. Pretty much took me a little longer than 5 minutes to make coffee, but that's okay. We got pretty much kicked off all our tables, so again, not a big deal. Still the same session, and we're getting a fourth table up right now, hopefully. There we go. So one nice thing is it took almost no time to get back on 4 tables. Yeah, so I guess again, the nice thing about kind of moving down to 25 no limit is that we really just have one singular focus, and that is improving our game, right? Like I can't, the results at 25 NL, obviously they matter because I want to be winning, but those I'm fairly confident will come pretty naturally. And yeah, I think my number one focus is going to be just going through pretty much every pot, every hand we get to post flop with, and going through for a couple hours a day and reviewing, every hand we played and seeing, what we think of it. So there'll be a lot of videos where I'm going through essentially like data point analysis, and what I'll be able to do is sort of have almost like a tier or like a tree of so sort of, I guess what I sort of envision, and my intent isn't to get distracted here, but let's open a new note. I think we open 100%. I actually just got some pre-flop ranges sent to me from my coach, and it looks like he pretty much wants us opening like 100%. Unable to process your request. Not sure what just happened there. Not sure what's going on here. Sorry, guys. Anyway, what I should be able to do, and again, I'm a little irritated here. I don't know why it's not rounding to the nearest 5 cents. I also don't know what's going on here. This guy limped, I guess, on table 2. Yeah, so I mean, the way I sort of envision the review would be, me going through hands and each time kind of coming up with I think here, like, we can just jam. I mean, like, he's kind of either got a 7 or a queen. And, guy has a straight flush. Okay. Yeah, so go through, review the hand, kind of figure out the question spot if there is one, and then be able to sort of drill down into what topic that is, sort the hands out by topic, and pretty much come up with a list of like topics that need further study. And that way I should be able to drill down pretty effectively on what areas I need to work on, what areas are good, and be able to direct my study to the most relevant things, the questions that are coming up the most often. So let's see here. He checked. He bet the flop and then checked the turn. So he should be pretty capped on the turn, unless he's like looking to check raise a straight or something kind of wacky. But yeah, once he checks here, he should be fairly capped. So we're going to start betting. Let me, I want to clean up Table Tamer a little bit. It's kind of annoying me. So betting. So, what do we have here? Yeah, in position, I think we can bet pretty frequently. Getting 4-1 with Ace Jack, but I really don't like Ace Jack, especially out of position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just change these to 4, 3, 3, 2. And kind of simplify my pre-flop betting a bit. That way those numbers don't look so strange. I just kind of have to deal with the rebuys. Yeah, let's re-raise with the 10s, 7, 9. What? This should be the 3x here. And either call or raise. So this guy's limp raising. That's pretty weird. I'm not going to fold quite yet. And now I'm not going to fold ever. So I honestly think that when players do stuff like this, it's like the limp re-raise is pretty aces-esque. So if that's true, I mean, yeah, I don't get any more value out of bluffs, but I don't know how often he's actually bluffing here. I don't think it's too often. Yeah, so like I said, it's aces-esque. Oh no. Yeah, so I mean, come on, rebuy. What the? Annoying. We want a small value bet there. So I'll make a note just that, I'll save that. I think we played that pretty well. I think, all of our, you call them assumptions, but they're maybe not based on data, but certainly assumptions based on experience, right? Like Yeah, I've seen I've seen a lot of hands, and I've seen what like low stakes players do, and that's something that they do fairly frequently. Now, I wouldn't have just automatically thought the limp re-raise was like always aces, kings, queens type stuff. Although I think it's a large portion, right? It's a non-zero portion of what's happening there. I've got position here. I'm just gonna call and try to realize some equity with my flush draw and 2 overs. I mean, I'm not sure there's tons of value in. Now I'll raise. I don't think I need to raise that big. This guy's betting fairly small, so it's like that out of position bluff type line that we can probably raise him off of. And a guy limp re-raising is pretty fishy, so we'll mark him. It also tells us that we have a note on him. So where this should be, what is going on? Come on, table tamer. The king's not as good a barreling card as it probably looks, and now he's like donking out. We do have an open-ended straight, but it's, I don't know, it's pretty weak. I'm just gonna let this go. And then here we've got, again, we interpret this line as like fairly bluffy. Let's go ahead and call once. If these guys, I don't want to raise right away because we've got 2 players left to act behind us. But if they both go away, then we can start trying to like push this guy off this pot. And I really don't feel too comfortable doing this with like a 0 equity hand is the problem. And I'm kind of caught in the middle here, so I think there's some. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that play. I think it's fine. So he's donk betting sort of a merged range. We've got 2 pair here. You can definitely be value betting worse on the turn. If he bets the river when the diamond comes through, I think we can fold. But yeah, you can kind of see that he's checking back 2 pair even. So yeah, we Pretty much called when we were good, folded when we weren't good. No problems there. This looks like a good spot for a squeeze. On table 4. And this is pretty dry, so we're gonna probably c-bet 1/3 100% of the time. This guy's like going all in, which is weird. We don't really have anything to fight back here. If we had hearts, we would probably call. That'd probably be the bottom of our calling range would be some sort of like double Broadway with hearts. 7-8 suited, looks like a raise. This is pretty ugly. On table 2. Got this $40 stack, 4xing a lot. Trying not to get tilted about the whole rebuy thing, but it is kind of annoying. Now we've got a straight. It's not the best straight. Queen Jack is better, but let's put in a little bet. I think we can get some. There's a min raise. Okay. I mean, we got pretty good equity. What the hell? That guy min raised bluffed, or oh, he wasn't bluffing. He had the bottom end of the straight. He just didn't like that, and that's why I call. Like part of why I'm calling there is because I think some people might not understand the value of like different straights in that spot, and like that guy actually min raised with the bottom end of the straight, which is like real bad. I mean, that's very bad. I can't imagine anything that would make that a good play. Blind versus blind, we're going to be just c-betting a lot. I feel like I'm saying a lot before every single decision. Sorry if that's annoying. Just trying to think if this is a raise. I don't. Again, when I kind of think the donk lead is just sort of this weird air bet, it seems like something that we could just kind of just take a basic strategy of raising 100% against. I think 8-6 suited may have been a raise since this guy was effectively on the button. Again, we've got that like the donk lead. I mean, it's actually, I'm pretty surprised. I'm seeing a lot more Yeah, I expected 25 no limit and 50 no limit to play pretty similar. It's like they're actually playing really different. Like surprisingly, like, there's more contrast here than I expected. There's definitely more contrast here than between 50 NL and 100 no limit. Just, I mean, I guess I don't have a huge sample of hands, but actually, let me jump over and look at our tables, because Stotner. Yeah, that's actually a pretty low VPIP, or like players per flop. We're gonna get off that table. There's gonna be better stuff around. Stanley doesn't look too great either, but it's fine. Let's see if we can get on this one. So on my other monitor, I was kind of putting some pen to paper on how I want to review hands. And yeah, like I think it'd be nice if they were sort of categorized. And then if I can kind of discover, like I said earlier, the category of hand that might be giving me trouble. Just a little comment. I mean, this is weird too. Just like some of the stuff you'll see, it's like stuff you'll see at live tables when people talk about like the dollar value of the bet and not like the big blinds or like the stack to pot ratio. I don't know what the stack was, or what, like I don't know what the situation exactly here was, but why would you bet $3 when you hit that 2 pair? Like that's not obviously the right way to ask that question. If he overbet, it's like, why did you overbet? And if not, then it's just, it's kind of weird. Getting raised here from a 14-14, so we could probably fold. But yeah, if I can identify the situation, then I can focus on what areas need the most study and the most sort of range versus range analysis done. If I find that I'm getting stuck in 3-bet pots where I'm out of position or whatever, then I can go and do more work on those. If I, depending on what I find, then I can focus my study in the right direction. But I think a lot of work I'll gain a lot just from simply going through doing some data point analysis on big hands throughout the session. So hopefully we see some improvement just from doing those like iterations. The combination of that and my coach is going to be doing, like, if I take my top 5, if I go through and I'm still kind of confused about what decision I should be making, I can take sort of my top 5 throughout the week and send those over to him actually twice a week. So every 3 or 4 days. So I should be getting a lot of good feedback on my data point analysis. Why is it going to other amount? Why doesn't it just do maximum allowed every time? And let's raise with our open ender. This guy's double barreling. I'm not convinced he's going to have much. But I don't want to be calling multiple streets out of position with third pair. All right, we're actually at 26 minutes already, so I'm going to go ahead and change over the tape. We'll keep on trying to get some good review. I don't know if, 25 minutes is really short. Maybe we'll just do 50 minutes. Let's do that. Let's plan on doing 50 minutes with 10-minute breaks, or 5-minute breaks even. I don't necessarily want to get booted off my tables every time I take a break is the thing. And we'll just barrel. So something important to note here is that if we think that our opponent is going to be overfolding the turn, then he shouldn't be folding the river very often. So a couple things. One, it makes a bad opportunity to bluff. And then two, when we get to the river and we hit, we should probably size up our bet to the most extreme amount that we think is close to reasonable. So on that river we would have hit, but the flush would have also hit, which is pretty scary. So I probably would have just made a normal 75% river bet. I probably wouldn't have gone over bet or anything too crazy on the flush. But yeah, that's a general idea that the general strategy, general approach that I'm taking. This guy checked back, so we'll bet the turn. Close that out. Yeah, so I'm not sure what's going on here. It's not putting in the right bet size. And then when I scroll, it puts me all in. Yeah, so tomorrow I'll look into that before I start. I'm not gonna shut my computer, but I'll probably do a restart. Maybe I'll try I saw that there was an update for Table Tamer, so I'll try that and see if any of that could be the issue. I don't know if maybe it just doesn't function quite as well at small stakes, at micro stakes. That could be part of it. I could also try enabling some hotkeys, and that way, if I have some hotkeys enabled that put in the right bet size, then that could make, for some easy quick fixes. But really, I mean, might be just a good mental game cheat. But if I feel like I'm treating the session now as if it's a study session, because I moved down in stakes, and that might be a good sort of mental hack regardless, right? I mean, let's sit out next big blind on this table 4. Does not look very good. To just sort of think of every session as a study, like as a study session. Keeps you a little bit more engaged, keeps you thinking. And it also sort of might mitigate some frustration or tilt with either bad beats or mistakes or things like that. I think that the faster that you can kind of move on from a mistake or a bad beat, obviously the better. And thinking about it as if you're just sort of studying might help with that. Also, just thinking about it as an overall process instead of just thinking about like, all right, this session is like, I either win or I lose and that's it. Kind of trying to think about it a little bit more holistically, as in, all right, I'm going to play this session. I'm going to really focus on these hands, and then knowing that, tomorrow I'm going to go back through, I'm going to review them. I'm going to look for areas where I can do better, try to integrate those into my game, and then play another session and pretty much try to iterate through that pattern as quickly as possible. Again, thinking about it as like this whole system, it sort of mitigates the stress of making a mistake a little bit, because it's like, all right, I made a mistake. I'm going to go back through. I'm going to study that. I'm going to make sure that I integrate that. And then, tomorrow night, maybe I'll make the mistake again, but after, the second or third iteration of fixing that leak, that won't be part of my game and it'll automatically be correct. And playing at a smaller stake where it's like, I'm not worried about going busto. I'm not worried about my bankroll. I'm not even really worried about like my hourly win rate or anything like that. I'm just worried about making correct decisions and getting better and improving. That is, that's fairly nice. That's a nice place to be. My initial reaction when Nick said like that he wanted everybody to start at 25 NL was, I had a little resistance at first. I didn't really say anything, but I sort of had this idea that like I'm kind of in a hurry to make some money. I'm trying to do this full time. I need to move up quickly. But at the same time, if I need money or if I need help with something, it'll be a lot easier to get that if I can show whoever I'm, asking help from that, like, oh, hey, like, here's how I'm doing, over the last 25, 30,000 hands. I started at this limit. Now I've moved up to this limit. This is sort of my win rate. And, like, if I can show that pattern of success and the direction I'm going and be able to sort of have a stable place to demonstrate that, then that also is helpful. Whereas if I am at 50 NL and I try to move up to 100 as quickly as possible, and then I kind of break even for 20,000 hands because I'm focused on just getting this huge volume, and I'm focused on trying to make money and not focused on studying and integrating all the things that I'm trying to learn. It's a lot harder to, go to somebody and be like, well, here's 30,000 hands of me breaking even, but, I swear I'm going to get better at some point. So. That should be the last hand on this table. I hope we get a seat on this one. This one looks good. That was a fast fold. So I don't think this is a board we want to just blindly continuation bet or bet into if check to. Also, this guy just donked. Wait, was he the original raiser? Small blind, big blind. I guess he was the original raiser, but we definitely do want to call here. We need to put up some kind of defense so that he's not, too exploitative. Oh, this fish left. We do turn a pretty good hand here, and unfortunately we miss. What is going on here with the bet sizes? This is just weird. So obviously we can fold. Hit this a couple times, try to make sure we actually. So it didn't get the chips on the table before the next hand, which is irritating. This guy's only got $4 left, so put him all in. And fold here. And then with this guy gone, I'm guessing this table's not going to be all that great anymore. Table 1, probably not going to be quite as lucrative. I need to scoot my chair up. I'm like leaning in so far, it's hurting my back. I think after this session, I'll do the next 50 minutes standing up. All right, well, there's plenty of tables going tonight, so that's good news. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit fed up here with Table Tamer. I may turn off like automatic betting and just keep like the scroll wheel turned on, because it's it's just getting a little irritating. I may run to the store and grab a bite to eat. I am drinking my coffee, but I haven't eaten anything since breakfast this morning, and I had breakfast at like 8 a.m. because I have a 3-year-old that woke me up. So I stayed up till 2 a.m., got up at 7 a.m., made breakfast. I took a little nap this afternoon. I feel good, but yeah, I haven't eaten any solid food since breakfast, which normally I don't eat any solid food until like lunch, and so it's not as big a deal, but yeah. I did get my meditation session in again today, just right before the session. Right before I started playing, I went and did some meditation, so that was good. Yeah, like I said, I'm a little frustrated with Table Tamer right now. Okay, so we have the second nuts here. I think we want to raise, right? Because, yeah, maybe that was a little bit aggressive of a raise, but I don't think we just wanted to call and let any other hands realize equity. So what I'm going to try is just setting it to round to 25 cents. I'm going to try to have it round to 100% of a big blind and see if that helps clean things up. All right. Yeah, all our tables look pretty darn good. The lowest one is 35% players per flop, so. Sorry if I'm not talking enough or there's not enough action, but I think most of the play has been fairly standard for what you guys should be used to seeing me do by now. I'm pretty much trying to see if I can get the table tamer to cooperate, and then if not, I'll just turn off the automatic betting and we'll just manually do it with. I'll keep the scroll wheel function on, but otherwise it will be done manually. It's only 9 p.m., so we got plenty of time left to put in a nice long session. We obviously could raise sometimes there, but I don't think it's really necessary. With the 9-8 suited. Ace 8 6 should be a pretty good C bet. And that 6 is actually a decent barrel card because if our opponent's, pretty much calling with any unpaired hands. Okay, now he's donk leading full pot, which I don't know what that is, but we'll just fold. Under the, well, MP's like min raising. So I think we can just call. He's got a $7 stack. Even though he's betting pot, we're gonna peel here. That's gonna be very hard to fold at this point, unless he like just overbet jams. I guess we could fold and put him on an ace. I don't know. I mean, almost in the interest of getting a different player at the table and getting this guy out of here. Plus we have a pair. We can, we have, I mean, a lot more outs. He checks back. Darn. Okay. Well, that might have been a mistake. Queen Jack suited. Man, it's so weird. Like, I don't think it matters significantly, but like with all these like short stacks, like who is short stacking 25 NL? Like, come on, man. Like, figure it out. So like with all these short stacks, it makes re-raising not as like lucrative, not as good. And so there's a lot of like weird spots where I have a hand that I would normally be re-raising with, but it doesn't make for a good re-raise because of the stack sizes. And then because I'm used to re-raising, it feels awkward to call. And so I'm not sure if I'm going to be playing it correctly when I call. Why? Like, what is going on here? Is it rebuying to the right amount? I can't tell. Like, I just rebought like 3 times before this hand started, and it still is not the right amount. Is it the right amount now? Like, now, does it? I feel like it used to just fix it immediately, right? Like, it used to just, as soon as you rebought, it would show you that you had $25. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that. We are coming up on 50 minutes. Man, I feel like there's for as loose as these tables are, there isn't as much action as I expected. Hopefully the audio is okay. It looks like the volume's decent enough. I mentioned that I've got a new setup, so my mic is a little bit further away than normal, but it should not be a problem from the videos that I've seen. From the videos I've done using this setup, the audio sounds okay to me. I'm not sure if this is a spot where anybody's like calling with an ace, but I don't want to go too thin and get too crazy here. It looks like maybe he probably could have potentially called with an ace, but what's interesting is that looks super fishy, but like he's actually probably defending pretty close to correct. That actually might be, the correct defending, like a correct defending hand. And it's weird, like a lot of these like loose passive guys actually defend fairly well because they're calling down so light. Once the C-better checks, like his range is fairly weak, so we're just gonna pile on. I mean, that's just our general strategy. Is like he checks, and I probably didn't need to like click it that quickly, but again, that's just the gist of it. I'm not sure I want to call a lead here. Yeah. I'm gonna fold this for, I think, obvious reasons. So like when the ace gets, yeah, I'm gonna fold, but did we get a rebuy in? No, of course not. So I was sort of suspecting that might happen. The reason being that if you have like a nutted hand there and a scare card like an ace lands, you get very worried about somebody checking back, which I would have done there. I would have checked back with my ace, because after the second call, it starts to look like, yeah, he's got when he checks normally, it's like his range is kind of capped, but like a balanced person is also going to check some nutted hands, and it's not going to be the right portion. But like if he had a full house there, it's definitely reasonable for like a player to be checking some of his nutted hands. So then when the ace comes on the river, he's going to view that as a card. Again, some of this is assumptive, but some of it just kind of makes sense. I think, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's too assumptive, but I think this is the only logical explanation for it. And if we just think about like the ranges and the hands that he's going to have there, when the ace comes, like what are the possibilities? The possibilities are that like we hit that and like now we're more likely to call, or that is going to scare us off and make us fold or check back more of our hands. So if you've got a nutted hand that you really want to get value from, what's the answer? It's not to like check and let me check behind. It's to, shove and not miss out on that value. Now, why am I sitting out here? Did I hit sit out next big blind? Or did I time down? Now, the only other possibility, which this I think is more assumptive than what I just said, would be, again, why is it 4xing here? Yeah, so the other thing I think that would be even more assumptive and even more incorrect is to say that like he's going to randomly try to bluff that ace. I think that's just kind of ridiculous. So any of those could be possibly true, but why did it just do that? It like had the right amount in and then it changed it to something that won't work. I have no idea what is going on here, or if yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know what it's doing on the auto rebuys. I'll send I'll put a note in my Evernote to email support about that. This all seems pretty straightforward with twos. Raise the flop, bet the turn, bet the river. Okay. I mean, you could call that a cooler somewhat on his part. I'm sure he'll view that as a cooler. I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if there's a flush draw out there, he's gonna, assume that I'm on flush draws usually, which I don't know. I'm not sure if that's assumptive or what. I'm not sure if I'm planning to get ace-8 offsuit all in there after the flop raise. I think after the flop raise, like, you have to be a little bit suspicious, and you have to say, like, all right, this guy's either got, a set, maybe two pair, but, it's going to be a lot of sets, a lot of two pair, a lot of flush draws, and then how many of all those things are we really beating on the turn? And then, is he really raising and then, like, double barreling his flush draw? Like, yeah, I probably am. So it may, maybe it's fine. So I wonder if there's a hotkey for, like, rebuy to maximum or something. You know what I mean? If, like, one of the... Because it's filling in its own amount, which is annoying. All it needs to do is, like, rebuy to maximum. So I'm a little confused as to why it is doing something else. So action hotkeys, table hotkeys. Okay, auto post, auto mux it out. Replay. Last hand is F1. What does that do? F1. Oh, it pulls up the hand history. Interesting. That's kind of cool. It actually pulls up, like, the hand history of the last hand. King 8 suited seems pretty close here. I guess let's just go ahead and try to get some 3-bets going. And then replay. Let's make that F2. Add chips. Clear. F3. Yeah, it just has add chips. It doesn't specify the amount. So F3. F3. Okay. Well, I'm not sure what's going on with the top up. It is kind of annoying me. Another thing I don't like is I don't like this being here. I moved it there because I thought it might be interfering with the auto top up. But now I'm pretty confident that it has nothing to do with this. So let's save layout. I kind of like that over there better. All right, guys. Trying to debate if I want to go grab a bite to eat right now. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go grab some food, get a little walk outside, get some fresh air, and then we'll come back and grind. So it'll probably take me 15 minutes to walk over, get some food, and come back. That'll put me at almost 10. So hopefully I can still play for another like 4 hours after that until like 1 or 2 a.m. So 3 or 4 more hours. And I'm gonna shut everything down and restart the computer and see if that'll sometimes that can help with the table tamer stuff. I think I'm gonna check. I'm only worried about a couple overcards here. Here we'll bet. They're both check. Now I'll go into. I think this is a pretty good card to bet on, but the problem is like we're betting a nearly zero equity hand. Like there's really nothing good that can happen here. That's like the best card we can get, and it still doesn't give us anything except for a 4-card straight. Okay, let's bet there. Let's check here. And then he leads. All right, we're gonna sit out all tables. Take another short break. What did I say this was? F3. It's add-on. Is $2 really the amount I want to 3-bet here? Yeah, I mean, I'm getting almost a little better than 2-1 here against a guy who, you know, could probably be doing this with a lot of hands. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. I apologize. I feel like they're just for an hour of filming. I don't think there was that much action. Don't know how much of that is on me and how much of that is just on the randomness of the situations. But I mean, my stats are 33-29, 30-24, 32-26. This table was a little bit tight, but other than that, I mean, I was playing fairly aggressively. So we'll be back. There's plenty of 25 no limit tables going, so we will be able to get on some really good ones, hopefully. And yeah, more content on the way. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is You Rounder. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, and I'll see you for the next video.